Hey guys, what's up? It's GVKcollectibles, and, well, I hope you guys are having a good beginning of 2021. So, instead of doing a normal figure review, I figure instead, let's take a look back at 2020 and see what my top 10 figures were of 2020. Enjoy. Alright, and as I said, today we're going to be taking a look at my top 10 figures of 2020. There was a lot of good figures that came out during this year, and I think through this tough year, but there was still some pretty good figures. I think everybody can agree on that. But first things first, I just wanted to take a look. These are just going to be the quick honorable mentions that they didn't make the list, but I figure I just wanted to mention them. The Scout Predator being really, really cool, really, really unique, very different comparative to the Lost Predator, which, like, you may or may not see on the list. But it's just a really, really cool, outstanding figure. Just kind of, like, I love the accessories he comes with. I love his new plasma, like, sniper rifle he comes with. The next one being probably both. It's kind of a tie. The Wicked Cool Toys Mark 5B and the Cat 320. There we go. I got her service tag right, from Wicked Cool Toys, from their Halo Infinite, like, Spartan collection line, and I just think these two figures are great. You will be seeing a review of these two coming soon in 2021. Another one I really liked was, of course, the Rebirth Batman, which was, or the Dark Knight's Metal one, probably, if not one of my favorite Batman figures. But there was one that actually, that made the list, that actually bumped him off the list of my top figures, but, like, still, I love this figure. I love the Rebirth design in general. Also, the Wonder Woman from the McFarlane, like, a lot more McFarlane. You'll see, at first I thought it was going to be mostly NECA figures, but you will see there is actually a good, healthy amount of both, really, other company figures, McFarlane, and NECA figures. But the next one is the McFarlane 1984 Wonder Woman, just in her, like, regular gear. I was mainly excited for this figure because it was, one, it was a good looking, it was a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman figure that looked really, really good for a cheap, affordable price, as opposed to, like, some of the more expensive ones, like the May effects, like ones from Batman v Superman and stuff. But ultimately, I've just been really happy with this armor after seeing Wonder Woman 84, which, like, has mixed receptions. I enjoyed it personally. I am actually probably going to be getting the Golden Eagle armor, because I think that armor was, like, that armor actually really, really grew on me And the last one is the SH Monster Art Burning Godzilla from King of the Monsters. Now, I did review the regular version of this guy. This is actually technically, I think it was like my third review on our Jack's Pro Collectibles channel, but you'll be seeing a review of this guy too in the future. But, like, as I could say, I really like it. This really fixes a lot of the problems that I have with the regular release. In terms of just articulation, like, the joints don't pop out as easily. I feel like it's really solid, but, you know, things can go. But yeah, these are the honorable mentions of 2020. So without further ado, let's start to get into 2020's top figures. As I said, for number 10, I guess, particularly these figures are not in any particular order. These are all figures I relatively enjoyed. They don't really, like, it doesn't really matter of how they're scaled, but these are just figures I generally liked. Although, if actually, you know what, looking at it, these are definitely ranked. But for number 10, it is, of course, the first of the 30th anniversary Lost Tribe Predators. It is, of course, the Lost Predator or the Borg Predator, whichever you prefer. Now, this guy is ultimately ultimately, he is a ultimate version of the classic one that they did years ago that had, like, kind of limited articulation brought up to the new articulation. And man, what do I have to say? I enjoy this figure a lot. Like, once again, he doesn't come with as many accessories comparative to, like, the Scout Predator or even the Jungle Hunter, but, like, I just purely love the design for this particular Predator. I love, the armor and everything. I love the helmet that NECA has designed for him, specifically his pack. He looks a lot more futuristic in terms, like, he's a lot more, it seems like he's a lot more advanced comparative to any of the other Lost Tribe, and also the read-up that NECA gave this particular Predator on the back is really, really cool. Same thing with the Scout Predator. They've done a really, really good job in doing the lore and everything. Like, once again, I think this figure looks great. The paint apps look phenomenal on it. The articulation is really great. It's what you expect from a Ultimate style body from NECA. There's even, it just looks really, really cool. One of my favorite Predator designs, like, for the longest time, since I have lost the Hot Toys one, this design has always been one of my favorites, and I was really, really glad to get my hands on this guy, for 2020. And for number 9, really kind of shocking, because I don't really play Warhammer 4K that much, like, at all, basically. It is the Space Marine from McFarlane. Now, this guy, like, as soon as this guy was announced, because my only knowledge of Warhammer stuff is from Russian Badger's videos when he does stuff, like, with Warhammer 40k, like, whether it be video games like Space Marine or the Angels of Death. Like, I kind of love the memes of the Warhammer 40k, but when McFarlane announced this guy was coming out, along with, like, I think it's the Necron, and the one that you could actually paint yourself, which is a really, really cool thing that they added, I bought this guy immediately, and for one, I think he looks awesome. Like, this figure, even though I don't even think I did a review on this guy, because I have zero knowledge of Warhammer, this guy just looks cool. Like, he's got the chain sword, he's got I assume that's like a bolter pistol, right there, but, like, the paint apps look really, really good. McFarlane has ultimately, as you guys will see throughout the video, McFarlane has ultimately impressed me with it in terms of articulation, of where they've come a long way from, like, when they started to do their 7-inch figures, like with Titanfall and Gears of War 4 figures, where they were still kind of like, they reminded me of NECA statues, essentially, and even what, like, McFarlane had been doing with, like, the movie Maniacs, the Cult Classic series, like that kind of stuff. Well, Cult Classics NECA, but, like, the movie Maniacs, I would say. But yeah, ultimately you'll see a few more McFarlane figures on this list, of course, but man, this guy just looks really, really cool. I love the blue paint on him. The articulation is utterly outstanding. And also another cool thing that I think McFarlane does with their figures is, while I do like the hard kind of, like, weapons like that come with the Predator figures, I do like how these are very pliable, so they don't get damaged as much, which is really, really cool. I think this guy is really, really cool. If you are a fan of Warhammer, definitely pick this up. Or if you have a problem with, like, the blueberries, or aka the Smurfs, I guess that they call them, you can get the custom one and you can do it yourself. So if you can make a Blood Raven, you can make, I think, a Chaos Marine. Really, really cool. So, overall thoughts on the Space Marine, probably one of my favorite purchases, a great McFarlane figure. Yeah, nothing else much to say about this guy, but, brother. And for number 8, of course, we got the Neca Kong. Now, this figure in particular, like, it's kind of, as 2020 is bittersweet, NECA ultimately lost and licensed to Godzilla, so it kind of, it sucks. It has this kind of, like, because it's like they don't really have any monster movies, but then I think around that time of when they announced that this guy was coming, which is just, like, was a bombshell, I think, to everybody that in the kaiju community, because we didn't know, like, NECA was going to be able to do a King Kong figure. And what do I have to say? This is probably one of my, if not favorite King Kong figure I think I've ever had. I've only had a few of them. I've had the Playmates, ones from back in the day. Of course, you guys saw the Playmates review of the Kong, from Godzilla vs. Kong with the battle axe, and there was the Playmates Skull Island one, and even the Mezco one, which is also a phenomenal figure in its own. This guy is probably my favorite King Kong figure. It's modeled after, like, it's a bit of an amalgamation, but, like, for me, this is my 1933 King Kong, and Absolutely love it. The amount of poses, like you can get him into the banging chest, like him banging his chest, which is really, really good. The articulation is just outstanding, and also like how the plastic looks of how they're able to replicate like fur looks great. I love the shadowing and everything on this figure. It's really, really cool. He is a little bit bigger comparative to like the Godzilla figures, but you can actually get him within a good kind of, you could do some trickery photography to make these two fight, but like, once again, I think this is just a phenomenal King Kong figure. If you are looking for a King Kong figure, like a 1933 King Kong figure, even though this guy, as I said, he's a bit of amalgamation, but like he is the best you are going to get for, I think, a 33 inspired King Kong. He looks really, really good. As I said, you can like he comes with two interchangeable hands, like some grabby hands, and he also comes with an alternate face. It just looks phenomenal. It's one of my, if not favorite, King Kong figures, as I said. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say about King Kong. He's just a really, really cool, awesome figure, in my opinion. At number 7, it is the 3-pack from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch with all the Silver Shamrock masks. And man, I love Halloween 3, so it is really, really cool to get these figures. Get these figures, like even the little treat bag, like that looks phenomenal. Like it looks like something out of the 80s. Halloween 3 is definitely one of my favorite films. It's definitely a mainstay for me for Halloween night, especially. But man, seeing these figures is absolutely great. The paint apps on them are phenomenal with the face masks, not the masks themselves. Like you get the regular one, and you get the one that is like the one that succumbed to the Silver Shamrock madness, which looks really, really cool. I think the favorite one of mine is clearly the pumpkin. I think the pumpkin has the best scene out of that movie. It's really shocking too, for me too, because I'm like, they're not gonna kill a kid, because that even blew my mind as like when not even watching it, like seeing a kid get killed by this like evil mask is really, really cool. The TV is really, really awesome, being able to show like the Silver Shamrock logo, and the pumpkin looks really, really great. The witch looks great. The skeleton looks great. God, just the set in general looks great. This is the 3rd time I've actually tried to film this because they kept falling down. So with that being said, if you are a fan of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, I definitely suggest pick these guys up. They will make a great piece to your collection. Alright, and at number 6 we have the Mortal Kombat Spawn from Mortal Kombat 11. What do I gotta say about this figure? It's just super cool. Like, it is, while I don't play Mortal Kombat, the game, I do love Spawn. Like, I love Spawn's design. And when it was, like, when I heard that this figure was, like, phenomenal and really, really good, like, it's one of the best Spawn figures, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get it. Of course, I had to, I tried to find it after everybody sold out of it, pretty much, of course, which, you know, just my luck, but luckily I found a guy on Mercari, and man, this figure is really, really cool. I love the cape, even though it isn't as ridiculous as, like, a normal Spawn cape is. It's still a pretty cool figure. The sword he comes with is really, really well detailed. It looks really, really cool. It has a small little Spawn logo right there. It just looks cool. Like, it looks really, really cool. Spawn is one of those characters where I really actually kind of want to get more into the stories. Like, I have literally the first volume, and I really want to read the book. But it's also weird because it's also the like, I actually like the first movie, even though bad CGI at all. Like, I really love that first movie. This guy looks really, really cool. So, I mean, if you are a Spawn fan, or if you just love the character in Mortal Kombat, I suggest pick this guy up. There is 2 variants. There's one with, like, kind of like a bludgeon, and there's one with a battle axe, which look really, really cool. My only complaint with this figure, minor complaint, he doesn't come with, like, a ridiculous gun, because Spawn also comes with, like, ridiculous guns, too. Or even some magic piece, like, kind of magic pieces. I think it's, like, hex magic, I believe, in the comics. I will correct myself if I'm wrong on that, but once again, phenomenal figure. This is really the figure, I think, that kicked me off starting to collect McFarlane a heck of a lot more. Like, I had McFarlane figures here or there, but this is, like, one where I'm actively going after their video game stuff, because it's great. I think it's some of the best stuff that McFarlane has produced. For the longest time, this was actually one of my favorite McFarlane figures I think I have owned. Alright, and for Number 5, out of my top 20, it is top 10, Jesus. 2020 and top 10s get confused. But anyway, here we have the Hasbro Black Series Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian, Beskar version. Now, this was a figure as soon as they announced it, or actually as soon as it was shown in the show itself, like him in his Beskar armor, like full Beskar armor, I was like, I need to get that figure. And ultimately, I'm really impressed with this figure. He comes pretty much with similar accessories that he did with the first edition, with the new inclusion, mainly being the jetpack, and also the completely new mold of the Beskar armors here and there. I think it is a similar body mold, but the actual Beskar parts are actually new. I did a review of this guy, of course, and I actually really like this guy. He's probably my favorite Mandalorian figure, I think. He's one of my favorite Black Series that I've gotten this year. I've gotten a few older ones too, but generally this one's my favorite, as I really love the show, and I love, especially how the show ended. It's probably one of my favorite shows next to Raised by Wolves, which is on HBO Max, but that's a fantastic show too. But ultimately, he comes with a lot of similar weaponry, like he does. He comes with his rifle, he comes with his pistol. There is the Target one that is going to be the deluxe version that has the removable helmet, and of course the child with the little cradle, which is really cool. I'm very excited to see the future of the Mandalorian going forward, especially after the season finale of season 2. But generally, I'm really excited to see this to see where it goes. Ultimately, if you are a big fan of the Mandalorian, I definitely suggest pick this guy up. He is a little hard to come by just because he's in high demand due to the show being as popular as it is. So, yeah. So definitely pick this guy up if you can. And Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian Beskar armor, is my number 5. And for number 4, we have the Wicked Cool Toys Master Chief from Halo Infinite. This is, of course, from the Spartan Collection, which is their 6.5, really 7-inch figure scale line. And man, as I think I said in the video of when reviewing this guy is definitely my ideal Master Chief figure. He is very cool. He has a few flaws, of course. I feel like with the Wicked Cool Toys, there are a bit of flaws, like especially when I do reviews for the Mark 7, the Mark 5B. He does have kind of like a loose arm, but that could probably be an easy fix with like something to loosen the joints up. But like, as I said, everything with this is a good indication of what Chief is going to look like, of course, in the video in Halo Infinite, which I'm very excited about. There's a lot I like about the figure. I love the articulation on it. It's really good. Some of the best articulation I think I've seen on a very affordable Halo figure. This guy's only about $20, which is really good. Comparative to maybe a more high-end figure, which may be up to 100 to maybe $50 possibly. But the weapons are really cool. The sidekick is really cool. Can't wait to use it in game. The assault rifle looks really cool. I also love, going back to the McFarlane figures for a minute, I do love how Wicked Cool Toys, also known as Jazzware because they have combined now, that the weapons are very pliable so they don't break as easy. He comes with interchangeable hands, which is really cool, that I never thought I would see with a Halo figure. But yeah, I think they do have another version of this guy coming out in the next wave, because there was a leak of the next wave that contains of Jerome from Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, Emil, and a few other, and I think I think it's the JFO armor, and a repaint of the Mark 5B, but either way, I do really like this figure. It does have some, I do have minor gripes with it, especially with the kind of the looseness of the joints, but generally, he's a really good figure. I think if you're excited for Halo Infinite, like I am, or if you just love Master Chief, definitely pick this guy up. I would also even check out their 3/4 inch scale figures. They really fit well, with the McFarlane figure, so if you want to just upgrade a few of the Spartan figures, definitely do that, because they relatively fit into good scale with the other figures within the line. So yeah, definitely check out Wicked Cool Toys' continuation of the Halo license. I hope they continuously do a really good job. Hopefully we get we'll get a Halo 3 version of this guy. I think it would be really cool to see. It'd actually be really cool to see just all versions of the Chief within this collection. For entry number 3, of course, in the top 10, it is the Arkham Knight. As I said, with the honorable mentions, a Batman managed to make it into the top, knocking out the Rebirth Batman, aka the Dark Knight's Metal, and of course, it is this guy. I really, really love the Arkham Knight design for Batman. I really love the tech look to it, and I was very excited when McFarlane was making announced that they were making this figure. Immediately, I put up my old DC Collectibles ones, which for the DC Collectible one, that's a really good figure too. I got rid of, in the process of getting rid of it. But this figure is really, really good. I actually did a review of this guy, and this was actually going to be, this guy was going to be the review for today, but instead he is going to be next week's review, of course. But other than that, I can't really go into too much. I love the design of it. The weapon, he comes with a lot of great accessories. He comes with his face sculpt looks really, really good. The armor, I love the paint apps and everything, with on the armor, it looks really, really cool. A lot of cool accessories, as always, and really, really good articulation, too. This year, I think McFarlane has really, really, I've become really a big fan of McFarlane again. As soon as they announced the DC line, I was kind of skeptical, but at the same time, I've been getting those figures here and there, and they've just been, the ones that I've had have nothing but impressed me. I really like this Batman, of course. I love the design, as I said. Very much reminds me of when Robert Pattinson's Batman. The suit reminds me a little of this, even though they're not kind of that one's supposed to be a low kind of tech suit. This is a techie kind of suit, but there are still those aesthetics here or there that make me reminded of it. And this is probably my favorite design for Batman. I really love the suit design for this one. So if you are a fan of the Arkham Knight games, or if you just love the Arkham games in general, I suggest pick this guy up. He's really, really cool, and make sure to check in the review on next week, actually. I'm very excited about that review. And for number 2, this is kind of a bit of it's kind of me breaking the rules a little bit, but I figured I didn't want to put one or the other on this list, so I decided to do them both. For number 2, it is both the NECA 1989 Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Biollante and Godzilla 2003 from Tokyo SOS. The main reason I put both these figures is these are the last figures that NECA, last Godzilla figures that NECA had done for this year, as ultimately their line ended with Mattel taking over the majority license, I guess, or the master license, I guess, for the figures, which is very, very sad, because especially NECA, I've been a fan of the NECA Godzilla figures since really day one. Sure, they haven't been, there are a few that haven't been the best, but I've really all enjoyed all the figures within the line, especially the re-releases that they did. They were starting to really hit their stride, I think, with the 1962 one. They continuously did that with 1964, these two, and I really love, even though if the 2019 line was kind of the ones from King of the Monsters were kind of hit or miss for a lot of people, I really enjoyed all of them. I love their Rodan, I love their two Mothras that they produced. But either way, I love both these figures. They look really, really good. This design, specifically this guy, it shows you how far they've come with their Heisei design. If you remember that 94 figure, there's a lot of people, it was really, really skinny in comparison to this guy, where this guy looks like a full, true-blown Heisei design, which is really, really incredible. The Atomic Breath piece is really, really great. Them doing the ingenuity that they have done on these figures. The tail, I think this tail is probably my favorite out of all the Godzillas. I just love it because it is straight up the Heisei one, and also to say with the Tokyo SOS, it's so cool to have this specific design, because it is kind of the closest I think we'll ever get for NECA. It was the closest that we're going to get to NECA doing the 2K design, the Godzilla 2000 design, but I really love this design in particular because it takes elements from kind of all the Godzillas, especially that Tokyo SO, the Godzilla 2000 design. I really love the face on the guy, on the Godzilla. Sorry about that. Phone buzzed. But either way, the Atomic Breath piece is really good. And even their two variants are really, really cool. The tails on them are both fantastic, and it's also just to show how far NECA has come with doing ingenuity and designing of these Godzilla figures. So I just wanted to say, hey to NECA, I love your Godzilla line has been great. I hopefully one day that you guys get to get the license again, because I would really love to see continued Godzilla figures, much like these two, like 64, 62, 1954. I've really loved all the line, but like these two, I think it's a perfect way to end the line on. Just end it on a high note, because these two figures are absolutely astounding. They're great. They're probably two of my favorite designs. I really wish we would have gotten a new Burning Godzilla with this mold, because I think it would have been beautiful. Like, it would have been a beautiful figure. But like, the Atomic Breath piece is really, really cool for this guy. And yeah, just generally, like, I think these two Godzilla figures are some of the best. These are the best ones, I think, that came out of 2020. Other than the SH Monster Art figures, which a lot of them were re-releases, so, but like, I love these figures, and that's the reason that they are my number 2 figure of 2020. And for my top figure of 2020, my number 1 figure, it definitely has to be the Alpha Predator from Neca Toys, and the main reason I went with this guy above the Godzilla figures, which I think those figures were phenomenal, I just wanted to kind of show like of how far NECA has come with their Predator figures. It's incredible. This is their 100th Predator figure, which is absolutely phenomenal that they've done that much with this line, and hopefully continuously do with this line. The backstory that they gave this hunter, Kale, I believe, or Kale, I'll put the correct pronunciation. Well, I'll put the name in the proper in the video. But man, what can I say? The amount of detailing on this figure is really, really great. Whether it be the fur, the bones, like the kind of primitive look of where they incorporated the River Ghost, which was the original design for the Predator that none other than Jean-Claude Van Damme actually wore. And they really incorporated all that into this backstory of where this race were a lot more technological advanced, and they basically kind of overthrew the Yautja before this guy rose up and took the fight to them, and he became the first hunter, which is really, really cool. It's a really phenomenal backstory for this character. The paint apps and everything look really, really beautiful on it. The weaponry, like all the weaponry looks really, really cool, because it's very unique and different comparative to like a lot of the Predators that we've seen from NECA, where a lot of them have like tools and weapons that look very much more conventional, of where they look futuristic, they look like they've been around for years, but this is like really the beginning of this Predator. And the amount of detail and everything. I love the blue dreadlocks, the kind of like light blue white in the dreadlocks look phenomenal. As I said, the armor, like the bone pieces look great. The River Ghost helmet looks really, really cool, but like all the weapons look really, really cool, where they're kind of like makeshift, of like, this is kind of like an early sign of this creature, the Yautja coming into their own, as he was known as the Alpha Predator, the first hunter, which is really, really cool. As I said, the backstory is really, really cool. It comes with if you get this figure, it comes with a poster showing one of the phenomenal art on the box, and also all NECA's Predators. All of NECA's Predators up until this guy. They don't have I don't think they have the Lost Tribe up there quite yet. They did put one out for Christmas though. But yeah, this guy is my top figure of 2020. I think he is really, really phenomenal if you are a fan of the NECA line, or if you just love Predators. Like, if you love the lore and expanded universe behind them, definitely pick this guy up. So with that out of the way, that was my top 20 figures. A lot of cool figures. Like, I was actually kind of debating whether if this guy or the two Godzillas were going to be the top pick, but I decided to go with the first hunter, just because it is a huge milestone for NECA. And I just really love the design of this guy. It looks phenomenal. I remember when I saw pictures of this guy at Toy Fair, I was like immediately like, I have to get this figure, because it looks so cool. And has such an interesting backstory too. But with that being said, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was my picks of the top 20 figures. A lot of great figures, and there was a lot of cool figures that came out this year. There's a lot that I didn't tackle. Like, I didn't tackle like a lot of the Mattel figures, like the Amber collection, which I just started to get into, and that series is great. As I said, the DC Multiverse line from McFarlane is really, really great. Alien was putting out some great figures like the 40th anniversary waves, which more of those are going to be coming out soon, which I'm very excited about. I'm trying to think, like, what else? Like, there's the Ultimate Ghost there's a lot of cool Ultimate figures that came out this year. But yeah, with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you leave a like and subscribe. Like, remember to make sure to hit like and subscribe. Also hit the little bell notification when you get notified when videos like figure reviews, what Mythical Mountain Mondays and What's in the Box Wednesdays are coming out. But after this, videos will be back to their normal schedule. There's been a few kind of like where we didn't do a Mythical Mountain Monday, just mainly because oh god, what is it? They didn't have an auction just because it was the last, like the one before that was the last one, so before 2021. But you'll get to see more like What's in the Box Wednesdays and figure reviews. As I said, you'll be seeing a review of the Arkham Knight Batman coming next week, which I'm very excited about. I think I did a really good job. And it will be before, so I did pre-record that one. So if I don't say, hey, I hope you guys have a happy 2020, 2021, that's why. So with that out of the way, also make sure to check us out on Instagram. There'll be I'll probably do close-ups of all these guys. I'll do the top 10 list there too. I'll show all my top 10 figures of that year on there too, just a little closer looks so you get to see them. And also check out Jack's Pop Guy on Instagram too. Has a lot of cool Funko Pops. Also check us out on Mercari. I put up a lot more kind of like older, like spare Neca Godzilla figures that I had. And also check out Jack's Pop Guy too. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a safe and hopefully great beginning to 2021. Hopefully this coming year will be a much better year for all of us than last year. So with that being said, be safe and peace.